Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. On today's journal, I would like to talk about living in the present moment. There are so many misconceptions in spirituality. As a spiritual followers, we have accepted certain spiritual misconception as a truth. Today's journal, I would like to take a look at one of the misconceptions in the spiritual community, that we ask seekers to not to live in past and future. What we are asking is not to live in something doesn't exist. Such a confusion. The past or the future doesn't exist. The past and the future only exist in the form of memory and imagination. It can only be accessed through the thought in now, in the present moment. So only now there is. Truly living in the present moment means living in now. We can only live in present or now. There is no past, there is no future. Such a confusion that without giving a proper explanation, we just tell the people, oh, don't live in the past, don't live in the future, or even both. But these two only exist in our memory and the imagination. There is only one, that is now. The past only exists in our memory. The future has only come to alive in our imagination. We can see this in our own experience. If we pay little more attention to our thoughts, say for example, try to step out of now and visit this place called past. You can't, because past only exists in our memory. In order for us to visit that past, the only possible way is through thoughts. Think of something that took place in the past, like the dinner you had last evening. All we have is an image of that event, the dinner. What there is in the past is the image of that event that took place in our memory. There is no past, something we could go and come back. Then we call that is the past. We can only access the past through our thought, again, that take place now. So far, there is no one step out of now and been to past and came back. Same thing goes to future. The future only exists in our imagination. You cannot leave now or step out of now and visit future and come back. It's just an imagination. This is the beauty of our mind. Our mind beauty is that the memory, this imagination. So when we say that live in present, mean do not live in memory or imagination. These are the right words to say, rather than saying don't live in past or don't live in future, because these doesn't exist. These are just a memory and the imagination. This is where the confusion comes, because when I started my spiritual journey, I've been through the same process and anyone else saying that, oh, don't live in the past, don't live in the future, rather than understanding the basic concept, there is only now. Then whatever we call it past is just a memory, and the future is just an imagination. We can only live in now, and we are always living in now. We never lived other than now. But these two things are in our memory and the imagination. This is the beauty of our mind. We all are unavoidable victim of our memory and imagination to some degree. When we don't live in present, we become victim of past and future. Our mind wanders into the past and the future, or the both. The easiest way to explain what is meant by living in present is to start by explaining what is meant not to be living in present, since that is a state of we have been unconsciously living. If we allow ourselves to be victim of past and slave to the future, we will carry our life as an unconscious process. This is a reality for most of us. For many of us, our life is either in the past, memory, or the future, imagination. What I mean living in memory and the imagination, sense of unease, agitation, and feeling uncomfortable. This is a reality. We used to it and we think that this is normal, because why? We don't even know how to live in present. Our mind always clouded with thoughts and associated feelings. Living in the present moment means no longer worrying about what happened in the past or the memory, and not fearing what will happen in future, our imagination. Easy way to break this unconscious being a victim of past is to become aware of our thoughts and what goes on within our mind. If we are to live in present or now, the first step is understand our mind, become aware of it, whatever goes in the mind. Do not name it. It doesn't matter. Do not identify what goes within our mind. That's relevant. That's not important. It can be past, it can be future. No, we don't want to go there. Rather than identifying what goes within, just become as aware of it, whatever goes on. The moment you become as aware of whatever that is, then you see that how our thoughts is deceiving us, how we are, how often we are relating to memory and the imagination. And you see that once you become as aware of it, then slowly you see that those past and the imagination, the future, is an illusory nature of it. Then it's leave you alone. Automatically it's leave you alone. Whatever is left there is called now, or living in present moment. So that is how we live in present moment, by becoming aware of our mind activity and what goes within our mind